Personally, I'm not a fan of playing victim games. I prefer to look on the bright side of life. If life gets tough, if people want to discriminate against me, I'm more than happy to say, well, then I'll make another plan. Right? I don't ever see myself as a victim, nor do I like when people play victim games because I think fundamentally life isn't fair. Right? It's never going to be fair. And if you want to win at life, you have to take the unfairness of life and you have to turn that into a victory. You have to figure out, how do I twist this so that it becomes something that I can deal with and that is to my benefit. Now, I recognize that that is impossible for a lot of people. I realize that there's a lot of people in this country that were lucky enough to get married, that have children, that have young families that they need to take care of, that unlike myself, who isn't married and doesn't have any of that responsibility, they can't just leave, right? They can't just up and start over or start a new business or anything. So when they face just the increased onslaught from this government against white men specifically in this country, for a lot of them, there really is no way out. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I know it is super annoying when people ask you to like and comment and subscribe and all that stuff, but it really does help. News like this is important. It is extra important now in a country where the minorities of this country are constantly under attack by incredibly racist government officials. Stories like this matter. The problem, of course, is that it's not flashy. It's not something that you can really turn into clickbait. And so the only real reliance that I have is on you guys engaging with the video, liking, subscribing, commenting, that tells YouTube that, hey, you like this. Maybe other people that watch similar content to you will also like this. So that's why I ask, if you want to help and you think more people should have access to the videos that I make, please consider doing so. Anyways, enjoy the video. Thank you. Yesterday marked the beginning. What right now, thanks to Riep van Youngbeek, by the way, over on X. You can follow me on X, by the way. The link is in the description down below. We are now entering a new era of race quotas in South Africa. And as you can see here, this new legislation effectively gives the minister, for the first time ever, complete control over every sector of the economy. This is only 15 of them. Every single sector, the minister can now literally dictate to the businesses in that sector what their exact breakdown of different types of races is allowed to be. This is, for example, for white men. And as you will see here, accommodation and food service activities is 4.1%. The entire skilled technical labor may not be more than 4.1% white. For professionally qualified middle management, 15.3. For senior management, 21.7. And for top management, they'll allow up to 43%. For some of these, you can see it's much higher, 66%. For agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Here comes a big problem, of course, with agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Agriculture just means farming. A lot of these farms are owned by a single farmer. And that single farmer is the top management of the farm. They don't really need, a board of directors and a bunch of executives running around on a farm. They just need a foreman and people that can run the farm. And while the foreman is quite important on a farm, they're at base senior management, right? So this will force a lot of farmers in South Africa to basically bring in black owners into their farms so that they can continue to farm. And what's more, I think, pernicious about this act, and this is not even what we're going to be talking about, by the way. This is just to bring you guys up to speed as to what is about to happen. What makes this particular new system of employment equity so much more pernicious and evil is the minister only has to talk and work with one company in a specific sector, get feedback from this one company within the sector of what are the market conditions, and then the minister, after working with this one company, can then unilaterally decide for all of the business in the sector what their new makeup has to look like. So if they can't find better business, that's not their problem. The minister has made his rules and they can literally tax you out the wazoo. The percentage fines that they will charge you on top of your profits will effectively push you into bankruptcy if you do not adhere to all of these rules, which of course none of this has ever worked. There's never been a country in the world that has had this top down management approach from government that has actually yielded any real results. And the reason for it is let's just take the accommodation and food services activities industry in South Africa. Now, they say there that in terms of skilled technical workers, only 4.1% is allowed to be white. Okay. What happens if you can't find 95.9% of black and other people to fill those positions? What happens if you can only find 60%? Because skilled technical work, there's only about 60% my other groups that isn't white that you can find. What do you do now? Well, you either overhire, so you hire a bunch more black people than what you need because you have to be at least 95.9% not white, or you close your business because you can't find people to fill those positions. But that's not even the story we're talking about today. This is the story we're talking about today. So, a municipal HR manager from Stellenbosch, the municipality of Stellenbosch, a man by the name of Kannemeyer, had some incredibly racist things to say about the municipality. But then, more importantly, he actually, in the video, he suggests that the municipality break the law in order to get rid of white workers. Take a listen to this.
From my perspective, I didn't support it. I feel we should have had the second, the internal candidate. I would propose that we go for the internal candidate, even if so, but I will write my report to Emma because she will have to sign off on the recommendation from you guys. But I have a big concern that we every time when we appoint somebody and come back, then we go to the highest score and it's always a white male.
I want to be clear. I want everyone to be clear on this. His issue is that when they go through the rigmarole of actually employing someone based on merit, so someone that has the right qualifications, can do the job, has enough experience, it always ends up being the white man that gets the job. In a province where colored people are the majority and white people literally the second biggest group in the province, it kind of makes sense, right? That you're going to end up with a lot of white guys in those positions. And there's a lot of colored people working at the municipalities as well, and wonderful, by the way. I'm in the Helderberg area, and I would say the municipalities here work phenomenally well. Whether you're working with white people or colored people doesn't really matter. But fundamentally, the problem he has is with skills-based hiring that ends with too many white people being hired.
I believe that we are never going to get this organization right with that type of attitude. We are not going to transform and we're going to struggle years and years. I agree that we are far off, that we need people to come in now that can bend us. But I don't think we should just do it because people outside are complaining. What about our internal staff?
He literally just said, I realize we need a lot more people to work here. There's a lot of people complaining that the job isn't getting done, but I don't care about that. We will not do this job with white people. If it takes longer, if the public has to complain because we're not getting the job done, I don't care. We will only hire non-white people. And if that takes longer, that's not my problem.
That's also, but I cannot support the fact that we every time appoint the best scoring candidate and it's always the white male. So we're not going to go for
the best scoring candidate is always the white male. And their directorate is that they should hire the best scoring people. And he doesn't care for that anymore.
Gender-based anymore, we're not going to go. So we work to a fashion where we either make the life difficult for the person that came in, or and I'm not saying it happened, but I'm saying we make the life difficult for the person that came in, the person that resigns, and afterwards we get what we want.
I want you all to pay attention to what he just said there, because that is illegal. He literally said we're no longer going on gender-based or any of that nonsense. We're going to go purely for non-white people. And then he said, and this is important, what we will do now is we will make the life of the people that we have hired difficult. In other words, white men. We will make their lives difficult. We will force them to resign because we can't get rid of them any other way. The country's insane labor laws have made it impossible to fire them any other way. So we will instead work them out. And once they've quit, that's when we'll push, the race quotas to make sure that no more white people are hired within this municipality. This man also, by the way, doesn't have anywhere to hide because he himself spent over a decade in various different unions working in the labor sector on labor laws. So it's not like he doesn't know. He has every legal argument for how illegal that actually is, and quite frankly, he should be fired. He should be let go of his job. Someone like this, Alexander Kannemeyer, does not belong in government. He does not belong working in municipalities whose only directive should be to provide services to the public. It shouldn't care what the race of people are. But then again, we live in one of the most racist countries on earth with a government filled with racists right up until the brim, from the top Cyril Ramaphosa all the way through to the lowest member of the ANC, racists from start to finish. And anyone that comes at me with this nonsense of, oh, it's not racial laws, it's just laws trying to redress the past, nonsense. All you're doing is making excuses, saying that, well, yes, it is a race law, but there's a reason for the race law. The apartheid government also had reasons for their race laws. Their reasons were, we're the minority, they're the majority, therefore we have to take care of ourselves. It didn't make it any less evil back then. So just because you're saying, well, we're trying to redress the past, doesn't mean crap, right? It doesn't mean crap. It didn't make it right when the apartheid government was doing it. It isn't right now. This is evil, this is racist, and it needs to stop. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of Alexander Kannemeyer or just this entire shenanigans that we live in right now. I'd love to read your thoughts. As always, thank you so much for all of your support. Massive shout out and thank you to all of the patrons and the YouTube channel members. To become a member, just hit the link in the description down below or join button right below this video. And then if you like what I do and you want more people to have access to what I do, please consider hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and leaving a comment because it really does help. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.